Have you ever walked away from a conversation thinking, how did they just take control of that? There was no shouting, no arguments, no obvious dominance, just influence. Today, I'm sharing 5 psychology-backed conversation tricks that quietly put you in control, without you ever sounding manipulative or fake. And I promise, once you notice these, you'll start seeing and hearing them everywhere. The best part. These aren't about being loud or aggressive. They're about being smart. Let's start with trick number 1. Speak slower than everyone else. This might sound counterintuitive, but here's something most people don't realize. The slowest speaker in the room usually has the most power. When you deliberately slow down your speech just slightly, you signal confidence, authority, and emotional control. Think about it. Fast talkers often sound nervous, rushed, or desperate for approval. Slow talkers, on the other hand, sound certain, calm, and deliberate. Psychologically, what happens is fascinating. People instinctively adjust their own pace to match yours. So when you slow down, the entire energy of the conversation shifts. Others will unconsciously follow your lead, calming down and listening more intently. Here's a simple way to practice this. The next time someone asks you a question, don't rush to answer. Instead, just pause. Take 1 full second to breathe and gather your thoughts. Then, speak calmly and clearly. That tiny pause does 2 things. First, it makes people lean in, both literally and figuratively. They anticipate what you're about to say. Second, it instantly gives you control of the rhythm of the conversation. You're no longer reacting. You're responding with intention. All right, on to trick number 2, and this one feels almost like a magic trick when you first use it. Repeat the last 3 words they say. It's incredibly simple. When someone finishes a sentence, especially if they've shared something important or emotional, you just repeat the last 2 or 3 words they said, almost like a question, and then you stay silent. Imagine a friend or colleague says, "I'm so overwhelmed. I just feel like nobody listens to me at work." Instead of jumping in with advice, you simply say, "Doesn't listen to you?" And then you wait. Instantly, their brain gets a signal that says, "This person is paying attention. This person gets me." This technique is a cornerstone of active listening psychology. It encourages people to open up, to elaborate, and to explain more, all while you guide the direction of the conversation without saying much at all. The silence that follows your repetition is your most powerful tool here. Most people are uncomfortable with silence, so they will rush to fill it, often revealing their deeper thoughts and feelings. You gain a huge amount of information and influence just by letting them talk. Silence is power. Let them fill it. Now for trick number 3, a simple but powerful word swap. Ask what instead of why. Think about the last time someone asked you, "Why did you do that? How did it feel?" For most of us, the word why feels like an accusation, even when it's not meant to be. It puts us on the defensive immediately. We feel like we have to justify our actions. So, instead of asking, "Why did you do that?" try reframing it. Ask, "What made you decide to do that?" Or, instead of, "Why are you late?" try, "What held you up?" See the difference? The word what triggers explanation and exploration. The word why triggers defense and justification. When people don't feel attacked, they relax. When they relax, they communicate more honestly and openly. And when they're speaking honestly, you gain true influence because you're dealing with the real issue, not just their defensive reaction. This tiny change works wonders in almost any situation, from arguments with a partner, to job interviews, to high-stakes negotiations. It shifts the entire dynamic from confrontation to collaboration. Let's move to trick number 4, which is all about emotional intelligence. Label their emotion before you make your point. Hear us a hard truth about communication. People don't truly listen to your logic until they feel emotionally understood. You can have the most brilliant argument in the world, but if the other person feels dismissed or unheard, your words will bounce right off them. So, before you launch into your solution or your counter-argument, take a moment to name the emotion you're seeing. You can say things like, "It sounds like you're really frustrated with this situation," or "I can see this is incredibly important to you," or even, "You seem pretty overwhelmed right now." This technique is called emotional labeling. It works like a charm to instantly lower resistance. The moment someone feels emotionally seen and validated, their brain can switch from a defensive fight-flight mode into a more receptive, logical mode. That is when your words can finally land and have an impact. So ironically, Acknowledging their feelings doesn't give away your power, it actually gives you more control over the conversation, because you're speaking to a brain that is ready to listen. Finally, trick number 5. This one is incredibly subtle, but it has a massive impact on how people perceive your authority. End your statements with a downward inflection. Pay attention to the sound of your own voice. When your voice goes upward at the end of a sentence, it sounds like a question, even if it's meant to be a statement. This signals uncertainty and a need for validation. When your voice goes downward, it sounds like a confident, definitive statement. Let's compare. Imagine saying, "I think this is the best option," with a rising tone. Now say the exact same words, but with a clear downward tone at the end. "I think this is the best option." Same words, but they carry a totally different weight. The first one sounds like you're asking for permission. The second one sounds like a confident conclusion. Downward inflection signals certainty. Certainty makes people trust you. Trust is the ultimate form of influence. Start practicing this today. When you're making a decision, setting a boundary, or stating an opinion, make a conscious effort to finish your sentences with that calm, downward finality. You'll be amazed at how differently people respond to you. So let's wrap this up. Real control in a conversation isn't about overpowering people, talking louder, or being the most dominant person in the room. It's about skillfully guiding the energy, the pacing, and the emotions. Most influential speakers don't necessarily talk more. They listen better, they pause longer, and they choose their words with incredible care. I challenge you to try just one of these 5 tricks in your next conversation. Maybe it's slowing down your speech or repeating those last 3 words. Just pick one and watch how the entire dynamic of the conversation shifts around you. If one simple trick can open your eyes, just imagine what mastering all 5 of them could do for your confidence and your influence. Stay aware, stay calm, and let a little bit of psychology do the heavy lifting for you. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on communication and psychology. See you in the next one.